The moment everyone made their way back home and into the privacy of their own rooms, they pulled out their phones and aimed for their crotch.
Hey, you guys feel like playing some baseball? Excuse me, I'm gonna go masturbate.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily cringe content anywhere on the internet. Promise, swearsies, it's just a fact, and it's totally science. Go ahead and look it up. Thank you so much in advance. I don't know why the intro felt a little bit different, but it doesn't really matter. Today we're jumping into r/TalesofNeckbeards, continuing the story of COUNSELORBEARD. Yes, indeed. He was creeping on little girls at a summer camp. This 20-year-old man scoping out a 14-year-old girl. Oh, that is some quality rage bait, and it doesn't end there. This will be the final part of COUNSELORBEARD as far as I'm aware, so at least it's mercifully short, if nothing else. Let's go ahead, we'll get some plugs and disclaimers out of the way, and then we will dive right into some of this Tales of Neckbeards cringe. COUNSELORBEARD. To beard or not to beard, part 2. Yeah, beard. Definitely beard. We established that in part number 1. There was the question of, like, you know, is he a neckbeard or a nice guy? And basically the entire comment section agreed that, yeah, he's just a predator. We don't need to dress it up any more than that. He is a predator. Hi there again. Hi, High Tides Old Gods. I'm Achilles, also Achilles on ReddX's Discord. Yes, and you've now got the collaborator role because you wrote a story. Hooray! Let nobody say that I never gave you nothing for your mental anguish, okay? I mean, it's just a Discord role, but it is something. Therefore, I get out of the contract scot-free. Thank you, plus you're welcome. And I'm here to bring you the second and final part of the COUNSELORBEARD story. Where last we left off, our beard, maybe, in question, narcissist, had been leashed by the administration after lusting after a 14-year-old camper and then threatening her best friend. He was still a counselor, though, somehow, as his actions were effectively just deemed as boys being boys. God, what a cancerous take that is. You can't just excuse bad behavior based on gender. But as a result of this, he was no longer allowed to be around Artemis, Atlanta, or the campers table in general. I mean, yeah, he shouldn't have been in the first place. I don't know what's going on. All these strict rules and regulations, but you still got one of the counselors being a creep, like, right out in the open. Ugh, the rage is already building up. God damn it. As a result, he was pretty much a non-issue for the rest of camp, thank God. So this story continues the days after camp. Uh-oh, what has he done now? God, I hate him. You hope that the end of the story would just be the end of the story, but that doesn't seem to be how lives and time work. He gets to just continue existing, and he definitely shouldn't. But anyways, here's the cast list, copy and pasted from the first story if you just want to skip over it. Yeah, we got OP, that's Achilles, Persephone, that's victim 2, Paris, victim 3, Artemis's best friend, Atlanta, and of course, Artemis herself, and then Narcissist, who is the beard, nice guy, predator of our story. Doesn't seem like we have any new characters, so good. Trigger warning. Uh-oh. Neckbeards are generally gross creatures, and this one is no different. Pedophilia. Sexual harassment, online stalking, be warned. Stay safe. Yes, OPSEC is extremely important in these days and times. I understand they're monetizing your information and trying to sell it to spam email companies and whatnot, but that's an even better reason to hold it close to your chest. And that's not even mentioning the predators that are everywhere out there. How many YouTubers you seen that, like, do a Minecraft Let's Play and get accused of creeping on kids in the DMs? God, all of my hate, bro. At least, you know, the Reddit narrators were a relatively classy bunch, right? As far as I could tell, at least. And now we get back into our story. So before we delve into the days after camp, I want to explain why the counselor, Athena, didn't get along with Narcissus. I think this will be good insight of Narcissus's views on women, specifically how that informs how he treated the following young girls in the story. Yeah, this is rage bait for sure already. All right, hit me with it. Athena and Narcissus both came from the same popular / older camper clique of previous years, but there was a significant difference between the two of them. Yeah, one's got a penis and one's got a vagina. Oh, you mean other than that? All right. I just gotta inject a little bit of levity, you see. Well, Narcissus lavished in the assumed popularity and leadership skills that the older campers were assumed to have, whereas Athena was genuinely well-liked by everyone and actually had real leadership skills. When Athena talked, people listened, and Narcissus did not like that. Yeah, you don't know how to command a room. Look at you, you bitch made. It's that simple. No reason to get caught up about it, make a big deal out of it, just use it as motivation to better yourself. Oh, you're already perfect? Your name is Narcissus? All right, I get that. Better just turn to rage then. You see, one of the other ways that the camp created nice guys was through cultivating the belief that men were always natural leaders, and that leadership could be seen through physical fitness, charisma, and shallow sociability. Women were also believed to have something similar, but their leadership was always lesser / submissive to men. Oh boy. This is just a carryover of that old-fashioned worldly things from the last episode. I like old-fashioned, but this is a bit too old-fashioned, even for my taste. God damn, dude. So, even when those women had more experience in whatever was the subject of the leadership, it was pretty much drilled into everyone's head every day that this was the case. Non-stop. Every activity had something to do with leadership and cultivating leaders. Hate to rain on your parade, bro, but Jesus, he the one true leader. I think y'all need to learn how to practice being good followers. Am I right? Can I get an amen? Or just a thumbs up on the video. I'll take either one. The popular clique of previous years held on to this belief firmly. And while they all believed themselves to be true leaders, they still had a hierarchy of leadership amongst themselves that they expected everyone else in the camp to follow. And the administration actually backed them up on that. Anyone who challenged this, i.e. had natural leadership abilities, was side-eyed. You think Athena can really help it that she commands a room well, that people like her? No, of course not. But somehow these positive attributes are going to be held against her for no reason whatsoever. But I don't know what else I'd expect. Which we have already established that the administration of this camp is just so inept and horrible at everything that they attempt. And somehow still they're able to subjugate entire groups of people just on the basis of religion. It's frustrating to watch. I believe in Jesus myself, and that probably makes it even more frustrating to watch. So Athena was one of these challengers, even though she never really attempted to be. She was third in this assigned hierarchy, previously fourth before the original third left. She was supposed to be the essential lapdog of the first of the hierarchy. We'll call her Medusa. Because, yeah, I'm spiteful. Medusa was the bully older camper from the previous story who bullied younger campers to tears over simple things like having a crush and waved around a thong for all to see in the bunkhouse before judging younger campers for too skimpy pajamas. Yeah, she stepped on necks all the way to the top. You could smell it. Likewise, she once bullied a 12-year-old camper for not having shaven legs in the woods. How about you mind your own fucking business? How about that?
Catch me outside, how about that?
And of course, everybody in the camp just kind of accepts it and keeps quiet. Like, oh yeah, I guess this is all okay and normal. Nobody actually wants to be a leader and step up and say, hey, that's friggin' unacceptable. That's true leadership. Go against the popular vote. How about? From a shallow perspective, Medusa was a walking archetype of the mean girl cheerleader, right down to writing cheers for everyone else to sing when it came time for sports. She was tall, beautiful, athletically gifted, extremely charismatic, and also a major bitch. So how is it possible that she and Athena were actually friends? Well, good old nepotism. Oh, hell yeah, that's how I got this job. When it works, it works. My daddy was a YouTuber, and my granddaddy before him. They passed this channel down to me, I tell you what. It was essentially a weird plot point between Medusa's parents and Athena's parents in order to earn church clout with the ministry. Church clout? I didn't know we were keeping track of that, but all right. They were attempting to rise through the rankings of the church by weaponizing their children as godly examples. There was even a point when Athena's parents had essentially forbidden her and her sister from hanging out with me and my sister in favor of Medusa's family. I mean, I said it in the last episode, but this sounds so unbearable. You've got church politics that's combining two of the worst things to talk about. Religion and politics. Forget about it. I don't want to play. No, no, no. That was until they found out that my parents were considered pillars in the church structure, and the only reason that my father wasn't a minister was due to his physical health. Even after Athena was an adult, her mother kept tight reins on her, even going so far as essentially attempting an arranged marriage with a much older man who happened to be a minister. She had intel that he was favored by one of the top guys, but that's a whole other story. God, this whole church is just bad juju, man. You marry off your daughter in an attempt to get some more of that precious church clout. I'll tell you what, you show up at the pearly gates holding an armful of church clout, and Jesus is gonna slap it out of your hands and be like, what the hell is this crap? What did it cost you to rise through the ranks of this, and I say this with heavy air quotes, church? I'll tell you what it cost. Your eternal soul, friend. Now get in the pit of fire, go on. TLDR. Okay, Athena challenged the status quo of leadership by having natural leadership skills that surpass not only the shallow clique, but also the men. As a result, narcissists didn't like her because that wasn't her place as a woman. Yes, something that she's totally in control of, I'm sure. How can I help it that I rolled a woman for my character and I also rolled high on charisma, right? This church is just insane. I'm so glad you got out, OP, and I'm so glad that you're here to warn the rest of us. It's good to note that they didn't just attack women. Medusa had her counterpart on the boys' side of things, whom she hated with a passion. And when a new boy camper came in that challenged his leadership and masculinity by simply not being a little bitch and being relatively attractive, you could have sworn that a bomb went off. Again, that's yet another story for yet another time. Stop leading into all these other stories. I want to hear them all. There's not enough time in the day. As Counselor Beard ends, we have like 5 other new paths open up to us, which I think is beautiful. It's like a choose your own adventure. I'm sure the comments in the Discord will let you know what they want to see next. If it's up here, I'll read it. I swear to you. We're into the series now. Anyways, back to Narcissus being a creep though. He and everyone else went back home and relied on the internet, aka social media, to keep in contact after camp. Yeah, social media sounds so good on paper, and then you see it in action, and it's just like, Jesus, why did we do this? Oh no! Can we take it back? No, it's too late. Okay, if you thought that the first part was bad, don't worry, it gets worse. Narcissus fully cements himself into the safety that the internet provides for him, and it gets so much worse. Yeah, I kind of predicted that. The anonymity of the internet is really where these neckbeards and nice guys let their freak flag fly unashamedly. And their freak flag just so happens to be a gigantic red flag. It's dual purpose. As warned in the trigger warning, yeah, there is pedophilia, there's sexual harassment, there is online stalking. It can and will get a bit heavy, with the only safety coming from the fact that he was hundreds, if not thousands of miles away from any victim. Yet distance ain't that much of a thing anymore, honestly. You can do like equally heinous things through the internet. I'm not convinced of this child's safety just because it's only online. There is horrible things that happen online. So yeah, it probably goes without saying. I say it quite often, but if you do need to nope out of this episode, there is no shame in that whatsoever. Just to add a little something light, I've decided to add a little story of something that he did during camp that didn't make the cut of the original story because it was just too long. Remember in the cast list when I said that Artemis being assumed Mexican was important? Spoiler alert, I have a feeling that ReddX will particularly take personal offense to this kind of story, so maybe get a glass of water first. Yeah, I got my water right here, hold on. Well, yeah, that was because the head administrator was racist. Not in the Mexicans are stealing our jobs kind of way, but in the isn't it better to be in a relationship with people who are more in line with you sort of way. He did not understand interracial relationships, and it just so happened that only girls of the guy's same race were put on the card of those youth dance cards. I don't know if I'm like personally offended. I mean, I am in an interracial relationship, but I've never particularly given a shit about what other people think about it. I have dated essentially every color of the rainbow, as it were. And yeah, I've never experienced any sort of negative repercussions from that because, much like this church administrator, most people are way too cowardly to ever say anything to your face about it. Except maybe a couple of my grandparents' friends, but it was a different time. And they're not my friends. I don't have to actually interact with them. I'm just like, okay, you'll be dead soon. Oh, don't tell my grandparents I said that, please. Now, mind you, this was a multicultural camp. There were plenty of people who were of the same race who didn't come from the same cultures. For example, I am Afro-Indigenous, so while racially black by camp standards, Northeastern Woodlands indigenous traditions have heavily influenced my family life. This is a really far cry from one of the boys that I danced with, a close friend of mine who, while again racially black, was Dominican and had immigrated to the US when he was like 5. Those are two wildly different cultures, and our grandparents didn't even speak the same language. So, as you can see, the administrator's belief was based purely on physical similarities, rather than an actual concern for the stability of the family unit. The same thing happened with the Dominican boys' cousins. I mean, they are phenotypically white, but they had more culturally in common with other brown and black Latinos in the camp than with the white American boys whom they were paired off with. That is far too wild, dude. It kind of reminds me of this sergeant that I knew back in a Grizzly Youth Academy. His name was Sergeant Gordon, and he was Jamaican, and he hated being called African American. He's like, I'm fucking Jamaican. It's the worst Jamaican accent ever. But he was such a cool dude, man. He used to freestyle rap with us. Like, you know, I was 16. I thought I was really cool at the time. Now I look back and cringe a little bit. But Sergeant Gordon, goddamn. Even to this day, I still look up to him. Anyways, most of us, of course, thought this was stupid. Many of us came from multicultural, mixed-race backgrounds or knew some people who came from such backgrounds, and we all just kind of ignored it for the camp and focused on friendships. Stop ignoring things. Leadership. Stand up. Then, okay, you probably get ostracized from the camp, but good. I don't want to be here anyways. Narcissus was not one of us who did so. He was desperate for validation from the administration, and so he frequently went out of his way to prove just how Mexican he looked. What? Because he wants to dance with the girl who looks Mexican? Okay. I'm kind of getting lost. I'm a little bit off in the woods. I'm sure we'll find the train of thought eventually. Once while doing archery, he asked one of the archery teachers what country she thought he immigrated from. Mind you, he had a pretty clear Indian accent, and he looks Indian. And she knew his name, which was pretty obviously Indian as well. So she just looked at him and guessed, I don't know, Pakistan? She said it in a way that we all just knew that she thought Indian, but didn't want to make the mistake of being wrong. I'm gonna guess wrong on purpose. Yeah, that's completely defensible. Technically, she wasn't wrong. He was, by technicality, half Pakistani by virtue of where the border was drawn and where his family was in relation to said border. He just looked so defeated, confused as to what it might be about him that might have hinted that he was in any way South Asian, other than, you know, freaking everything. Just be yourself, bro. Accept you for who you are. You don't have to front like you're a Mexican or something like that. Indian people, they out here doing big things in the world, all right? You should be proud, if nothing else. But the grass is always greener, I guess. And it wasn't as if he wasn't proud of being Indian. Oh, well, foot, meat, mouth. He regularly bragged about India, his family, the clothes, the music, and the times when he had his phone, he showed off Bollywood movies and popular songs. He was definitely proud to be Indian. He just wanted to be Mexican enough to be approved by the administration to date Artemis. This is just too wild, dude. I'm surprised the administration has that sort of nuance. I thought they'd just be like, yeah, you're both brown. That's close enough, right? Because that's basically what OP said. Administration saw two black people, they're like, yep, put them together. This is how the world works, isn't it? I am so at a loss. I am just stunned, agape in amazement at this absolute dumpster fire. And again, citing the cast list, she wasn't even actually Mexican. Her family was from Spain. She had one singular Comanche grandparent who gave her some indigenous features, and her family happened to be from Texas before moving to New Mexico. The head administrator was from Canada and assumed that any American from the Southwest with dark hair and a Spanish surname just had to be Mexican. He refused to change his mind when he was told differently. It was, of course, very silly and very stupid, much like everything else that we have seen from this administration. Are you expecting me to be shocked by any of this or offended? No. We kind of took that bullet in the first video, and now I'm just standing in amazement going, wow, it's still going. I can't believe it goes even deeper. How is it possible? Oh, well, I guess let's just see how deep it goes. It seems like it goes deep. But yeah, that was just how desperate Narcissus was for Artemis. He wanted to make sure that there was no way he'd be refused her affections as far as the administration was concerned. Imagine having a church administration, a racist church administration at that, governing every relationship that happens within the church. It's such a nightmare. But okay, on to the days after camp. It was pretty standard for counselors and campers to keep in contact through social media and email. However, email was preferred as the church had a hate boner for Snapchat and Instagram and any other phone-reliant social media, as the head ministers didn't believe that the youth should have cell phones. God, stop it. I guess the whole point of that is just to keep the kids as isolated and alone as possible so they don't see all this shit that's going on around them. Really, you can do the same things through email that you can do through basically any other phone-reliant social media. It's just a lot more clunky and stupid, and I never check it. The only person I email with is my mom. Even my grandma is on Twitter, all right? What is this administration doing? I guess they should be glad that they don't have an online presence, because I know people would be queuing up to DDoS their entire website. Typically there was about a month of hyper contact between campers and counselors before everything died down to a near standstill. School happened, and that's typically when everyone's social media contact ran straight into a wall. During this time, communication between campers and counselors was 110% expected and normalized. Not for narcissists, though, please. Can we not? The campers and counselors were generally a few years apart, and typically counselors held no authority over campers besides their age once camp ended. They weren't ministers or deacons or whatever else, and they often were thousands of miles away. Likewise, because they were godly, they weren't perceived as being potentially dangerous correspondents for young teens to have. Oh, they're so clueless. How is this possible? Instead, these counselors were supposed to be potential mentors that their parents should be pushing them to talk to help them to navigate the sins of the world. Oh, God. That is a wolf inside the chicken coop situation, okay? Nobody should be forced to talk to anybody else. But if you don't, then the church people's gonna be mad at you. You might get ostracized and get, all of your free time back. Actually, sounds like a pretty sweet gig. Sign me up. That is what camp was all about. Connecting the holy children of the Lord with one another in order to develop long-lasting friendships that would protect them from the evil, violent peer pressures of the sinful halls of high schools. Their correspondence after camp would be good and pure and holy and full of dick pics. No! Just had to throw that one in there. Yeah, as I'm sure you were all expecting, the sexually repressed and segregated nature of the camp for hormonal teenagers meant one of two things. Either one, dick pics in secret and long-distance relationships galore full of swap nudes between boys and girls. Oh, God. What a terrifying time to be alive, honestly. Yeah, thousands of miles away. They're safe, but they can totally see each other naked. I don't want to seem like too much of a prude, but thinking about the age ranges, isn't it 12 to 18? Okay. I hope it's only the upper range that are exchanging it, and only with people that are in their same age range. I hope. God damn it. You know, the church administration's just turning a blind eye. Yep. That's a dick pic of God. We sanctioned that one. Despicable. Or two, they would spend 2 weeks in a hot, sweaty bunkhouse, frequently witnessing members of the same sex unclothed and very touchy, led one on the path of homosexuality. Oh no! Well, it seems like they failed in achieving their goals, trying to keep these children on the righteous path. And according to OP, lots of people at this church went gay, and I can't help but wonder why. It's just a lot to unpack here. And then, of course, there was the lesser chosen third path of becoming even more repressed to a borderline Amish status encompassed in nice guys and inceldom. It was as if the moment everyone made their way back home and into the privacy of their own rooms, they pulled out their phones and aimed for their crotch.
Hey, you guys feel like playing some baseball? Excuse me, I'm gonna go masturbate.
I gotta see what I've been missing. For whatever reason, this year was particularly bad. An absolute tidal wave of dick pics washed over the campers. The mental image. They were coming in faster than ever before. Stop it. And one just had to wonder if this was an organized attempt at confusion from the teen boys, or if it was by some divine hand that they all got the same idea at once. But on the flip side of this, and this was mainly the younger campers, like, you know, the teen boys, 16 and younger, if anything good came out of camp, the boys that didn't become nice guys often left camp and the church, having actual relationships with girls without it being considered a path to romance. As a result, they left valuing women's opinions as valid, including the opinion that dick pics are not wanted. Yeah, you gotta save them while they're young. Once they get certain ideas pounded into them, it's real hard to shake it out. The only reliable way I found is physical violence, and I just don't have the time to go beat up thousands of teenagers. I'm an old man, okay? I'm tired. If for any reason a young teen boy is reading this, oh, that's me. I'm a young teen boy. No, I'm not. I'm a middle-aged man. But if you're listening to this, wondering if you should send that dick pic, don't. Do not. I can guarantee you that the only thing that will happen to that pic is that it'll end up in a group chat full of giggling girls wondering why dicks are so veiny. You gotta transport a lot of blood really fast, that's why, if you're wondering. And yeah, that is precisely what happened. Remember when I said that the friend group that we had at camp was very large and full of subgroups, interconnected through primarily family relationships? Well, yeah, online it was pretty much the same. There was the main group chat, barely used, and smaller group chats for each of the subgroups. What do you think happened when a bunch of the younger girls received these explicit pictures? Just guess. Well, if you guessed that the pics got blasted onto the smaller group chats, that due to familial connections ended up on other group chats until they spread like wildfire across the church camp's corners of the internet, yeah, you would be correct. Oh my. Now everybody you go to church with has seen you Willie. I guess it's just desserts for sending it to the younger girls, the underage girls. Did Narcissus ever do this, or are we just off on like a long tangent? I don't know what's going on. We'll see. It happened a lot like this. Trying to enjoy my peace by enjoying some ill-gotten Oreos and Netflix in the kitchen, I was rudely interrupted by the ear-shattering, cackling, hyena-esque laughter of my little sister, Paris, in her room upstairs. The ungodly sound was quickly followed by a rapid thumping as she descended down the stairs, beelining towards me. Dear God, please strike me down. Amen. But God was not to oblige that day. What do you want? I didn't even bother to look at her, already imagining her Joker-esque grin, which would often be followed by attempted arson in years past. Look, she cackled, shoving her phone into my face with wild abandon. I rolled my eyes, making the mistake of, actually looking. Oh God, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why would you show me this? Now, dear reader, I don't think I have to explain to you the picture of the dick that my sister showed before me. A shriveled, brownish pink, sparsely hairy penis being held by Slender Man-like long fingers in front of a filthy floor. Oh, God damn it. Oh, that's heavy. Where did you even get this? You sick fuck. Narcissus sent it to me. She laughed. He sent one to Persephone too. Oh God. Now it's gone from like being funny to like the floor dropped out. Okay. Back to the hatred. Are you fucking serious? Now, I wasn't too concerned about Narcissus grooming my little sister. He wasn't her type by any means, and she had made it clear that in no uncertain terms, she found him creepy, probably because he is creepy. She and Atlanta were good friends, and she had heard what Narcissus did to Atlanta, and so permanently put him on her shit list. Persephone was much the same, and while they were younger than him, they had far more confidence than he ever did. Maybe too much confidence, but I would rather that they be too confident in themselves than, hating themselves, like most people at that church seem to do, especially since it was my job to keep Paris humbled. Amen. Paris and Persephone, as well as two other girls in their little group chat, had been swapping photos pretty much for the last hour. Oh no. Like I said before, it's a scary time to be alive, man. How long is it gonna be before my daughter ends up with some of these wang dang doodle pics in her friggin' Facebook messages? I figure I got 3 to 5 years tops, and then I'm gonna go shoot that kid right in the face. I just want to talk to him. I just want to talk to him.
I just want to talk to him.
Why do you have a shotgun?
I just want to talk to him.
So yes, these children were roasting each pic, from the size of the wang to the disgusting carpet clenchers in the background. His private messages to them were equally as disgusting, as he waxed poetically about their large breasts and thick lips. Mind you, again, one of them was barely out of middle school. Yes, they were both fairly developed girls, but they were still girls, children. And Narcissus 100% knew that. He had even tried to comment on and like all of my little sister's photos on Instagram before she set it to private. The Instagram creep. Oh, God. I love when wifey points that out to me, too. She's like, hey, look, this weirdo that I'm not friends with liked the photo from 3 years ago. I'm like, yeah, they're really digging, ain't they? maybe we set this to private now. Mind you, none of these pictures were in any way revealing or sexual. The vast majority of them were just her and her volleyball team in group pictures. Paris was more than happy to send it to me and some of the screenshots from her group chat, and I followed that up by putting it in my own group chat. Yeah, it does spread like wildfire, doesn't it? Remember the counselor Athena? Well, she and I are, or were, good friends, as she was only a few years older than me, and she was in this group chat. Some members of the chat, again, keeping with the Greek theme, we got Achilles, that's OP, Athena, the counselor, Alithia is Athena's little sister, about a year younger than me. Heracles, one of the oldest boys, specifically the Dominican boy that I danced with, a year younger than I was. Charis, Heracles' older cousin, a good friend of mine, same age. Apollo, a boy from the same congregation as Artemis, 2 years older than her and like an older brother. Ares, another boy from the same congregation as Artemis, 3 years older, and an older brother, but, you know, like, angrier. OP, you'll never freaking believe what Paris just sent me. Apollo, the boyfriend you'll never have. Ares, a good taste in men. Charis, wow. Achilles, first of all, fuck all ya. Heracles, smiley face. Achilles, second, no. It was a dick pic. Apollo has nothing to say. Ares, I didn't know she had one of those. Got him, coach.
Got him.
Achilles, no. Ilithia, ha. Achilles, Narcissus sent her one. Her and Persephone. Ilithia, you can't be fucking serious. Achilles, I am 100% serious. Ares, how do we know that it's him? Achilles then sends the pic through. Heracles, that's it. I'm getting myself deported. It's been nice knowing y'all, except for Apollo. Apollo, what the fuck? Ares, I'm sorry I asked. Athena, I am going to kill him. I can't believe this. What the heck is wrong with him? Ilithia, someone needs to tell the ministry. Charis, yeah, he can't come back as a counselor. Not after this. Athena, 100%. Achilles, yeah, I'm gonna send an email to the head administrator. Give him a heads up. Athena, I will back you up on that. The conversation ended there, the chat becoming flooded by eye bleach, courtesy of Alithia. Bless. Now, if you're wondering why I went straight to the head administrator of the camp, that's simple. He was also the head minister of my congregation, so by virtue of that good old church hierarchy, he was the one that I had to go through. Ugh. This is civilian life. I'm pretty sure we don't have like a rank structure or anything like that. Go over his head, it's fine. This guy's track record says that he's not gonna do a goddamn thing about it anyways, so I guess you bring it to him first, and then afterwards, after he does nothing, you bring it to the person above him, and hope that they do something, until eventually you're talking to the Pope. And I don't know why you're talking to the Pope, because he's Catholic. This is a Christian camp. But I don't know, you do what you gotta do. But yes, OP thought that that would be the end of it. I would just collect the photos and let it go. Let the ministry handle it. But apparently, there was one more photo that I needed to collect. iPhone notification.mp3. Instagram DM from Ares the Best. Ares, hey, I've been getting some weird feelings from Artemis. I know that Narcissus was fucking obsessed with her, so maybe like, I don't know, check on her. Maybe she got the picture too. OP, yeah, sure thing. I opened up my DMs and found Artemis's old messages to me. Artemis was someone that I would consider having an old soul. Not in like the, yo bro, I feel like my soul's from the 70s. It's like super spiritual, man, kind of way, but in the this person belongs in a different time kind of way. She had a face that belonged amongst greasers and a music taste to match. Oh yeah, I dated a rockabilly girl for a little bit. That's a freaking cool aesthetic, I'll tell you that. Likewise, despite being born in the 21st century, technology seemed to fuddle her, as she was rarely ever on social media. She used her email far more often. Part of me hoped that this quirk of hers kept her safe from narcissists' forbidden pics. Achilles, hey, just wanted to check in on you. How's everything after camp? Artemis, Narcissist sent me a dick pic, and I don't know what to do. Well, yeah, she kind of blurted that one out. Let's dispense with the niceties. Yeah, things are going good, except here's the thing that I have to bring up. No, she's just like, here's the thing, I hate it. So yeah, there goes all of those hopes. Artemis, being 14, was confused and kind of hurt. She didn't want to tell her parents because she was embarrassed, but she also felt guilty for not telling them. As he did with my little sister, Narcissus had been extremely sexual in those DMs, commenting about how beautiful she was, and how if he had his way, he'd kidnap and marry her. But, you know, only in the most romantic way. Yeah, it's creepy, but romantic kind of creepy, right? No. No such thing. I hate him. I still advocate for chemical castration, manual extraction, barring that. She seemed relieved when I told her that I would be taking it to the ministry, and that she wasn't alone. She handed off the forbidden picture. The weirdo had sent different pics for different girls, and I proceeded to change the topic, as she had no interest in ever talking about that again. After the conversation ended, I wrote a strongly worded email about the matter to the head administrator, having my dad, a professional editor and well-respected member of the church, sign off on it first. The administrator got back to me the same day, telling me how important this is and how actions would be taken, and I would be informed of when. And so I waited, and waited, and waited, and waited. I told you, man, they're not gonna do a goddamn thing. Sweep this one under the rug. After a whole 6 months, I finally received news on what happened to Narcissus. Everyone did. Do you want to guess why? Was it because the church looked into and found that this was continued behavior and wanted to make sure that all of the parents knew of the potential danger and encouraged any other potential victims of his harassment to come forward? No, that would be the right thing to do. So no, of course the church didn't do that. It was a big fancy announcement in the church bulletin celebrating the newest member of the ministry, now a deacon in his congregation, Narcissus. Oh my God, dude. Oh God. I need to take a shower. I need to hug my children. I need to take them to the river so we can all bathe in some fresh, clean water and try and scrub this dirt out of my soul. I don't think it's ever coming off. This is like the worst thing to happen, ever. I mean, we've gotten a lot of horrible stories, but this dude in a position of power, the way he acts around children, I just know it's happening hundreds of times, and the church just closes their eyes and let it happen, and God damn it. I want him to be dead more than anything. Ah, fuck, dude. My heart is broken from that one sentence. That's right. 6 months after sending dick pics to minors and threatening another minor, Narcissus was welcomed into the ministry with open arms. Is there not a paper trail? Can we not do something about this? He was now part of the church leadership, and more importantly, he was part of the camp administration instead of just being a counselor. Yes, my dear readers, this means that Narcissus ended up gaining more power, not less. Jesus, 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 help us. This is such a somber ending. Why does it have to end like this? Doesn't he end up getting hit by a bus or something? If it goes out on this note, I'm just going to pretend he got hit by a bus. I don't want to hear anymore. I don't want to see this anymore. Likewise, as I learned years later, no one in the administration had told Artemis or Atlanta's parents about what Narcissus did at camp, even though Atlanta's mother was one of the cooking staff at camp and could have very easily been told the same day. She never knew a thing. I did see a comment pointing out like why Artemis didn't go to her mother. But yeah, I guess it's Atlanta's mother. I get a little mixed up with the naming conventions, I guess. So this unfortunately was a trend at camp, and I have a few stories of things said to or done to campers that were inappropriate. In one case, legal assault of a minor, and that should have been told to their parents and never was. Okay, I knew about a lot of different stories. I thought they'd be funny, haha. I can open those up. The repeated victimization of children, I don't know if I have room to take that on, man. That is so horrible. This is like the worst ending to a story ever. Jesus Christ. But don't get your hopes up if you saw me mention in the Discord a while back that I was now comfortable telling this story because Narcissus was no longer in church leadership. It wasn't a punishment. He chose to leave. I don't know why, so I couldn't tell you exactly, but I still follow his little sister on the gram, and if any of her posts with him are any indication, it seems to have been a family-wide decision, which happens often in that church. Yeah, everybody in the family's like, let's get the hell out of here. But with Narcissus' family, it's like, let's get the hell out of here before we get found out for the scumbags that we are. And I do hate to paint them all with the same brush, but if you know that your child/brother is a predator and you don't expel them from your midst, then you're complicit. And that's how it is. So yeah, it was probably a decision from Narcissus's father, and he and his sister just kind of followed suit. Now, based on his sister's posts, he parties and drinks all he wants. Go victimize somebody else that isn't at a church camp, I suppose. But he's definitely still out there victimizing people. God damn it. I want to see him dead, or in jail, or both. We've had a lot of beards that have cut me deep, but this one, I hate. I hate more than all of the others for slandering religion as a whole by his actions, and because he's going after kids. Like, as a father, I will come and visit you. I will come to your house. I will nail the doors closed and light you on fire in your own bed while you're sleeping. And that would still be too good for you. God. I'm sorry if this isn't the explosive ending that you were looking for. A bow tie ending to a creep story, but unfortunately, not every story ends with justice. Sometimes it ends with just a block button and hoping for the best. As I said, that camp either broke you and forced you out of the church, or it turned you into a nice guy/nice girl with an incredibly warped idea of what a relationship with the other sex is supposed to look like, paired with an extreme amount of sexual repression. Some of the other issues exasperated at the camp included, but not limited to, us versus them, colorism, racism, texturism — this is actually where the legal assault came in — sexism, martyr complexes, and racial fetishization. All, of course, in the guise of becoming a good Christian leader. A light on the hill. Holy hell, man. I never would have thought that a story about a church camp would make me blaspheme so much, but there we are. I hated this story. It made me uncomfortable the entire way, and there was no catharsis at the end. But OP is right. Not everything ends with justice. I just have to trust that he will pay for his crimes in due time. Whether that means in this life or the next one, it is going to happen. So yeah, a depressing ending, but in the spirit of ReddX's channel, I thought I'd leave a quote from the one man who rules my life, the man he makes me think every so often, WWID. What would Iro do? Yeah, they're fine. She's pretty cool. Good times become good memories, but bad times become good lessons. Uncle Iro. If we can make a cult for Uncle Iro in the Discord, that'd be great. That cult is going to be fan-run, not supported by ReddX Inc., okay? You can do whatever you want in the Discord, basically. But I gotta say, man, this was one of the more depressing ones that we've had lately. I mean, we've been doing a lot of depressing ones lately. There's also Warbeard, which, like, I'm still waiting for the comeuppance, but again, it might not happen either. It might just be like, okay, everything was terrible. Eventually I got away. I guess I do have to be grateful that eventually you did get away, but I do love explosions. I do want to see him pay for his crimes, but yeah, sometimes that's just not the way that the cookie crumbles. Although I do guarantee that he will pay for his crimes, even if we are not there to witness it. So thank you so much for sharing your story, Achilles. There's a few that hooked me in. I'm like, yeah, I want to hear about that, but not any more, kid stuff, please. I felt myself tearing up for a little bit at the end there after he got appointed a deacon. I'm like, how? How could this happen? The administration has a paper trail and they just don't care this much. How? Oh, Jesus. I'm not a fan of burning churches, but that church in particular, I hope it gets burnt to the ground. I hate everything about it. But I suppose you guys can let me know how you feel in the comments. Commiserate in my rage. I would appreciate that. Maybe share the video around if you should like. I don't know about this one though, man. This is a tough one to swallow for just scrolling the timeline and seeing something silly. This is probably not the one. But you can do as you please. We've also got links in the description, of course. Twitter, Discord, Facebook. Hey, those are my social medias. We got all kinds of plugs and playlists and podcasts. Ooh, good stuff. We've also got my Patreon, of course, and my gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful, generous patrons, whom I would like to thank Jerry much. So thank you, Darth Tominus the Degenerate, Robert Allen Waits, Camille Sarah, Logan Wolf, Conrad Ingy, Anna Leonard. Hey, Mr. ReddX, sir, landlord Jerry just called. He says something about counterfeit doubloons. Can you let Dr. Ramtide know? Ramtide might be the one counterfeiting, honestly. Captain Clown Jerry, Hong Kong. Aaron W. has become Aaron Jerry. Our numbers rise again. Alexis Smith, aka Twisted Child, Sarah Wanawash, Cinnamon Susie, For Old Lang Syne. Irary is back to this, says it's just more fun. Jari the Pirate, Silent Revolver, the OG Jerry, Jerish Kitsune, Satori, 211 Jerry, Fellowship of the Jerrys, a Jury of Jubilantly Juggling Jerrys, a Justy Jargonia Jerry, I think I got through that, Alunia Demonista, Althea Blue, Anunnaki, Assassin Punk Jerry, Bang Bang, Aurora Wildheart, The Moon Baron, Grizzly, Baby Jerry, Gaga, Baby Joy, Bearded Jerry, watch out for that guy, Beards. That sucks. But much like sharks, we don't move backwards. Bitch Gremlin, Blade the Hero, Blip Bloop Jerry, Catholic Jerry, formerly Atheist Jerry, but the Inquisition showed me the light. Oh, blessed be, especially after this story. Jesus Christ. Commander J Tank, Confederate Jew, Dennis Dayton, Dinosaur Nightlight, Disposable Waifu, Dr. Larks, A Merchant Jewel, Frozen Over Studios, Fire Drake, Gypsy, Hadrian BR. I can't help falling in love with Jerry. I'm Slim Jerry, yes, I'm the real Jerry. All you other Slim Jerrys are just imitating Irish pirates. Top of the barn into ya. Thought we were gonna get like a song medley going. Itchy nuts, I just scratch 'em, bro. A pimp named J. Chris, J.M. Coon, Jennifer Schaefer, Jerry Blacktail, Jerry Nice, Jerry Evil, Jerry the Outlaw Mother Trucker, honk, honk. Jerry was a race car driver, and I'm at the light with him now for round 3 because I live my life a quarter mile at a time. I want to go fast. John Hero, John Jerry Jingleheimer Schmidt. Hey, that's my name too. Simbufa, cause if you're boofing is free, KJW Kajow, Crewhee, Miss Monday, Lord Jerryo, leader of the Thunder Jerrys. Like and subscribe. Lady Dix, Melgar the Destroyer, Metal Factor. Now 10 out of 10 dentists agree he is more metal than Arthur Henry. As well as Jerry and Tom and ReddX. Totally facts, totally science, but it's totally not. Mr. Carrot 797, Natari, Needless King 89, Nightmare Jerry, on a quest to shave the stash of Jerry Aldo Rivera with Landlord Jerry, and 3-time Waffle Stomp World Champion is Mr. J. Poor Jerry Aldo Rivera doesn't even know what's coming for him. Origami Steve hit Jerry with a bag of marbles after catching him cheating with Tom. That's right. Divorce, I say. Phantom of the Pines, Jerrykins and Jerry Beth, Ramtide Lacrimates, Rose Jerry Miller, TSM Kirby, Sarita the Lolita, Saucy Octopus, Silo Imp, Staples, aka Jerry Yeet, Stephanie Goodner, Synaptic Broomstick, Brilliant Tamago, Tapioca Boogaloo, Tato Ferret, Teddy the Police, 10-Ton Monster, That Italian Greyhound Dino, whatever, The Littlest Who, The Token Trans Queen Jerry. I did not hit her. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Jerry. I am slain. The one true Fusky. Tom, but it's the Jerry on the inside that counts. Preach. Try to find me another marble to get back to the real world. Can't help you, mate. I'm Busy Bee, V3 Prime, Viking Jerry. We give up if you see Marble Jerry. Just give him a marble or something. They'll probably leave your livestock alone. Probably. Wiki Tag, Will Megs, Comrade Moody, Kira. Not another Jerry. But are you, though? You're a wizard, Jerry. Redwind, Naga Viper, Side Jerry the Cyborg, Saints Blessing, One Leg Jerry buys pizza for the Jerry Army. Hey! What about for ReddX? I like pizza too. A normal Jerry. We got all the marbles out of the machine, and now we can finally produce some Jerry Berries. Not a sponsor. Hunter of Jerry's, Devourer of all things tasty, and it's Tom! Admiral T-Tank, Emmer Alder, another stupid hipster. Atomic Jerry Zilla, AZ Babsagoon, Bartender Kirlia, Blue Dubs, Broken Spine Horseradish. But look, I made you some content. Date, you're my favorite. Open wide. The original different Jerry. There's Cake Jerry, California Jerry Girl, Chevron 7 Locked, Corporal Admiral Lieutenant Furry Worry Princess Jerry. I fucked that up. Grip titties. Dayton does, but he needs our help. Come on, Jerry, buddy. Clap your hands if you believe. Oh, it's so good. Defon Jerry, creator of colorful click clacks. DM Beard, roll for selection. Dopamine Dangerous, Electrical Fennec, Ghost of Alpha, Heeknot, Holy Berry Jerry, sponsor of Jerry Berries. Hydra Jerry Solomons, Irradiated Jam. Sorry, Babushka, it's just business. Janitor Jerry, who found a crate of cringe and marbles out by the dumpster. Jeffrey, Geralt of Rivia. Jerry and Tom versus Happy New Year's Webby Apocalypse. Jerry, the Sussy Baka. Jerry's mom has got it going on. Jerry Aldo Rivera, keep your mustache safe. Jerry Bean, yum. Jerry Roxas, yay. Jerry's STI downshifted and sped away with a burst of flames. That's freaking metal, bro. Jerry role-playing game, Judge Jerry and Executioner, Kid Marvelous, King Tom, Kitsikin, Life of a Guardian, Little Ann Woods, Lucia Lovecraft, Machia, CD. Maybe next time, Milk-Fed Gimp, Miss Duchess, Not Invisible Angel, I See You, or Game of Cam, Ghosty, Raptor Out, She's My Jerry Pie, Cool Drink a Mountain Dew, what a big surprise, Sheep Jerry, working at Joanne's Fabrics, they don't even carry marbles, Snary, that's Snom Jerry, Spoonie the Rogue, Spoopy Scary Jerry Ton, Techno Dubs, the one Jerry who survived Unfortunate Nookie. Good God. That is an accomplishment. Wear it proudly. The Necro Jerry Con, the original Jerry, not the X card. Oh, that's Ramtide's favorite card. to infinite Jerry and beyond. Tuna fish Jerry. Oh the God, I keep trying to swim around, but I'm dummy thinking the slap of my tail fins keeps alerting the bear. Unfortunate Jerry, couldn't think of a new gaslighting joke. Sorry, I'm such a piece of shit. God damn it. You got me good there. Tom promise. Jerry swears all bad. Jerry, Tom, be a good boy. They'll switch. Just facts, totally size. Go ahead, look at it. By the race video. That makes sense, right? And thank you, of course, to all my $1 patrons as well. Beautiful people that they are. This is the end of the month. Oh my God, it's actually happening, you guys. It's a short month, but I'm grateful for it. Thank you guys all for making my existence on YouTube that much easier with your Patreon help. If anybody else wants to sign up on the Patreon, obviously that is massively appreciated. But if you can't do it right now, don't sweat it too hard, friends. I just appreciate you coming on through and hanging out with me. And I hope that you come on back and hang out with me again tomorrow. In order to do so, you need to keep yourself safe out there, wash your hands, but also take some time out and do something that you personally enjoy today. Maybe like watching some more ReddX videos. Big brain time. Always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, and you definitely deserve it. I shall see you in the next one. And until then, friends, bye-bye.